Good evening. Thank you very much. You may be seated if you can find a seat. Before I begin my remarks this evening, I would like to mention and talk about briefly the tragic events in South Minneapolis this morning. The latest reports that we're getting, and I was just briefed on this before coming out this evening, is that there are there were two children injured, and excuse me, two children were fatally killed or fatally shot in this situation. This is hard to talk about, folks, and 14 children injured, maybe upwards of around 14 children injured. Still getting a lot of information on that. I want to say that under my administration, I would be in contact with Governor Walz on this and pledging the full and complete support of my administration to assist in any way possible. And you've heard me say this over the last 4 years, coming to this podium way too many times to talk about uh, our thoughts and prayers. Well, our thoughts and prayers are indeed with the families tonight of everyone affected by this horrific shooting in South Minneapolis earlier today. And we just got to ask ourselves, and I know that every time this seems to happen, we seem to get it on the radar for a little bit, and we talk about it, about what caused this, what happens. And folks, it really is time. It really is time to get an investigation together and find out what is the root causes of this happening in our society. Our society needs help. It takes an awful lot, at least for me, and I'm sure for everybody else here, it takes an awful lot to fire a weapon at somebody. And we need to find out what's causing that. What's causing them to take out their anger the way they do. And we need to figure out and wrap ourselves around it and try to find a solution so we don't keep coming to this podium and keep talking about thoughts and prayers and what we are to do. Let's just fix it. But I did talk to the governor before coming out this evening, and like I said, pledged my full, complete support. My administration would have his full and complete support in this. It's very tragic. Like I said, it's hard to talk about this, especially when you're connected to education, like the Rogers family is, very much connected to education, and you see those kiddos all the time, and it's just tragic. A very young lives, young futures, young contributors to our nation taken down just because they were going to school to learn, and that's got to stop. But good evening, folks. It is a profound honor to address you tonight at Haynes Convention Center in the heart of Boston, a city that has long been a beacon of innovation, education, and economic dynamism. Is a dynamism. That's hard to say, isn't it? To the business leaders, workers, educators, union representatives, policymakers, community advocates, and all the Americans joining us here or watching from afar, thank you for your shared commitment to the future of our nation. We're here to discuss one of the most critical issues of our time, and that is job creation, the lifeblood of our economy and the foundation of the American dream. As I stand before you, I am mindful of the extraordinary progress we've made together over the past few years. Our nation has created millions of jobs, good paying jobs, meaningful jobs in industries like advanced manufacturing, clean energy technology, healthcare, and infrastructure. From the revitalized factories of the Rust Belt to the cutting edge labs here in Boston's Innovation Corridor, Americans are working, building, and leading the world. Unemployment is at its lowest historic low, and that we've seen in a long time. And and we've seen wages rise for working families. Small businesses, the backbone of our economy, are thriving, and we've made historic investments to ensure that opportunity reaches every community, urban, rural, and everywhere in between. But let us not rest on our laurels. The global economy is evolving at an unprecedented pace. Automation, artificial intelligence, and shifts in global trade are reshaping the workforce in ways we could scarcely imagine or scarcely imagine a decade ago. Climate change demands bold action to transition to a sustainable economy. And while we make great strides too, many Americans still face barriers, whether it's access to training, affordable care, child care, or the capital needed to start a business. Our mission is clear. We must not only sustain our progress, but accelerate it, ensuring that every American has the opportunity to work, to contribute, and to thrive in this new era. Tonight, I want to lay out a vision for the future of job creation, a vision rooted in three core principles: equipping our people, empowering our businesses, and investing in our communities. First, equipping our people. The jobs of tomorrow require new skills, and we must ensure that every American is prepared to meet the demands of a rapidly changing economy. That's why my administration has made historic investments in education and in workforce development. We're expanding access to community colleges, vocational schools, and apprenticeship programs so that whether you're a high school graduate in Dorchester or a mid-career worker in Springfield, you can gain the skills needed for high-demand fields like cybersecurity, renewable energy, or advanced manufacturing. Here in Massachusetts, institutions like MIT, Bunker Hill Community College, and local workforce programs are setting the gold standard. They're training coders, engineers, and technicians who are powering our economy. They're taking that model nationwide with federal funding to support partnerships between schools, businesses, and unions. We're also investing in early childhood education and affordable child care because no parent should have to choose between their job and their family. And I'll make this promise to you: under my administration, they will never have to choose. By equipping our people with the tools they need, we're building a workforce that's ready for the future. Pardon me, I do apologize. My allergies have been flaring up here lately. Second, empowering our businesses. Small businesses create nearly half of all new jobs in America, and large corporations drive innovation that shapes entire industries. We must ensure they have the resources to grow, hire, and compete on a global stage. My administration has worked tirelessly to cut bureaucratic red tape, streamline regulations, and provide tax incentives for businesses that invest in American workers. We expanded access to capital for small businesses, particularly in underserved communities, so that entrepreneurs in places like Roxbury or Lowell can turn their dreams into reality. And that's what I'm talking about too with my tax incentive program. Let's give the folks who have done well, and there's a saying that I dearly love: much is given, much is required. And I believe that holds true with those who are doing quite well, to give back to your community, to give back to your hometown. Just think of the satisfaction that you would have. Let's say if you're an architect and you are used to designing $1 million businesses. What if you went back to your hometown and you saw a struggling business that needed design work, that needed a facelift? What if you gave them that facelift, that design work? And by doing that, you earn a tax credit. Not only would you earn a tax credit and I think feel better as a citizen, but secondly, you would help a up and thriving business, a business that's just beginning to get started. And you can't imagine what happens when a business like that has a facelift. Things change. Businesses change literally overnight. So this is a great plan, and I'm pushing really hard for us um, to get in the law. We're also fostering partnerships to create career pipelines. For example, we're working with tech companies to train workers for roles in artificial intelligence and data science in healthcare. We're supporting programs to address shortages of nurses and medical technicians. And in manufacturing, we're incentivizing companies to bring back jobs to American soil. And as a person who many years ago whose job was outsourced overseas, I'm a firm believer in having American jobs on American soil. Just last month, I visited a factory in Ohio where workers were building electric vehicle components, jobs that didn't exist 5 years ago. These partnerships are creating opportunities that are both immediate and sustainable. Third, investing in our communities. Job creation isn't about numbers, it's about strengthening the fabric of our nation. That's why we're making once in a generation investments in infrastructure, roads, bridges, broadband, clean energy grids, and advanced manufacturing facilities. These projects don't just create jobs today, they lay the foundation for economic growth for decades to come. In rural communities, we're expanding broadband access to connect farmers, small businesses, and families to the global economy. In urban centers, we're revitalizing neighborhoods with investments in affordable housing and public transit. We're also prioritizing green jobs to combat climate change, from solar panel installers to wind turbine technicians. These jobs are good for our planet and good for our people here in Boston. Here in Boston, though, you're leading the way with clean energy startups and research institutions that are pioneering sustainable technologies. We're taking that spirit nationwide, like I mentioned, with tax credits and grants to support clean energy projects that create jobs and protect our environment. But beyond the policies and programs, let's talk about what this means for real people in Woodchester. I met a veteran who transitioned from military service to a career in solar energy, thanks to a federally funded program, a training program in Lawrence. I spoke with a single mother who started her own catering business with the help of a small business loan. Now, just imagine that small catering business, and just think, is that small catering business needed some PR work, needed some ad work. That small catering business could blossom overnight by a successful individual contributing their services to that company, again, giving back to their community. You know, um, and I visited a tech startup where young entrepreneurs are creating jobs by developing AI tools that will shape the future. These stories remind us that job creation is about dignity, opportunity, and hope. We must also acknowledge the challenges ahead: wage inequality, purist, particularly for women and communities of color. Too many rural areas still lack access to high speed internet or adequate health care. And while we made progress, we must ensure that the benefits of our growing economy reach every American. And that's why we're expanding the tax credits for working families, increasing the minimum wage, and investing in historically underserved communities. We're also addressing the caregiving crisis with new incentives to make child care and elder care more affordable and accessible. As we look to the future, I call on all of us to act with boldness and unity To the business leaders here, I ask you to keep investing in your workers and your communities. To the educators, keep preparing our students for the challenges ahead. To the workers and unions, keep advocating for fair wages in safe conditions. And into my fellow policymakers, let's put aside partisanship and work together to build an economy that works for everyone. And that's where we're really held up. It is time, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's time to stop talking and it's time to start doing the work of the American people. It's time to stop the hatred. It's time to stop the destruction. It's time to stop the cutting of these programs, reinstate these cutting their programs, start working together. And I really believe, we do that, we can change this country. You know, in Boston, you embody the spirit of what's possible. From the Revolutionary War to the tech revolution, this city has always been at the forefront of change. The startups in Kendall Square, the small businesses in on Boylston Street, the researchers at your world-class universities, they're all proof. They're all proof that when we invest in our people, in our businesses, in our communities, there's no limit to what we can achieve. There's no limit to what we can achieve. Let's carry that spirit forward. Let's build an economy where every American has a job that provides dignity, security, and a path to prosperity. Let's ensure that the American dream is within reach for all together. We can create a future where opportunity knows no bounds, where innovation thrives, and where every community is part of our nation's success. And I want to close with this. You know, there was a president, and he made quite a few memorable quotes. One of the things he said, and I will paraphrase what he said and give him full credit for this. It's Joe Biden, and he said, "There's nothing beyond our capacity that we can do together, that we can't do together, if we do it together." So, folks, here's the challenge. There is nothing beyond our capacity, that we can accomplish if we do it together. There's nothing. I think about the greatest achievement in mankind. The moon landing was accomplished with teamwork. We can accomplish great things. Great things are in store if we work together. So, God bless you. May God bless the United States of America. May you protect our troops. And again, thank you all very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I ask you tonight also to keep our friends in Minnesota in your prayers tonight. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, thank you.